Hey guys, so finally had some free time to test some fans I've had on backlog and decided to start with this one. Definitely something on my bucket list. This is a Dayton Lasko 56-inch industrial ceiling fan. This, by what I'm told, is a second-gen model. I assume it's just the canopies are the big difference. I don't know if they changed anything about the motor or not. But overall, it's in really good shape. And without further ado, let's get to testing, shall we? Got a cool little speed indicator here on the bottom. Dialed 1, 2, and 3, and then 0. 1 being the lowest speed, 3 being the highest. And 0, of course, meaning off. Fan came with a really long down rod, so it's kind of hard to film this. Or try to get it in shot, at least. So, like pretty much every Dayton Lasko, the plastic on it is starting to yellow. Although this one isn't as bad as I've seen some other ones. I've only seen these installed in like one place, and it was, I think it was like some kind of gift shop or something that had 4 of these, possibly, I think it was either 4 or 6, I can't quite remember. I want to say 4, but they were the littler ones. I believe that's 40 inches for the small ones. This is the big one. It's a little squeaky too. Yeah, it's a little ghetto, but this is what you have to do when you're pressed for time. Or just tired. Yeah, this is one of those fans that unfortunately won't be staying up long. It does hang too low. And when I had the can arm here, my goal was to replace it with something that didn't hang quite as low. But yeah, I made an exception for this fan. Go to medium. This fan was pretty much the Westinghouse industrial of its time. It was this particular industrial is an extremely weird one. Like just the use of plastic on it is hilarious. So the bottom part of the motor here, you can see where that line is kind of warped. Come on, camera. That is just plastic piece on top of the, I assume, a motor underneath. The top part is I think it's, I don't know, cast iron or something, maybe something aluminum, I'm not quite sure. I'm not too familiar with these. Steel blades and then plastic canopies. This part is also plastic, I guess the switch cap. I guess they were just trying to make it affordable. I'm really not sure what these would have retailed for back then, but it would have been pretty cool. Yeah, I could have done better with that lower canopy. It's kind of fallen since I've installed it. Low and medium are a touch too fast for my liking, but it's nothing like I'm sure a 3-speed control or a Verispeed wouldn't solve. We'll go to high. Air movement on low was nothing special. Medium was pretty good, actually. High speed is good. I feel a good breeze from this fan. It is better than a Westinghouse industrial. I can confirm that. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, but the second gens versus the first gen Dayton Laskos. Second gens had rolled edges on the blades. Once I do spin down, I'll show that. First gen models supposedly did not. Runs silently on high though. No bearing noise. The plastic scraping has gone away. But yeah, air movement is good. It will probably be even better if it hung a little higher. I'm about 6 feet tall, and this is eye level with me. So this thing's just barely 6.5 feet off the ground. So it's probably not performing as good as it should be. So let's do spin down. I like it how it's like a Casablanca or an Alaska where it's low, medium, high. So the Dayton Lasko is one of those fans I never heard about until I started collecting. However, when I grew up in going to a church, and this particular church had, I assume at the time when I was there, 3, at one point 4 Sanyo frigid industrials, if anyone knows what those are. Those are similar to the Dayton Laskos. I would guess they have the same OEM, where now the Sanyos did not have a switch cap on them, and they were only 3 blades. And I think they were more akin to the first gen Dayton Laskos with the canopies. So it's pretty much a 3-blade, single speed Dayton Lasko. I thought they were the coolest looking fans as a kid. And honestly, outside of that church, I've seen maybe one other place that had them installed, and I've never seen them anywhere. They seem to be very rare on YouTube as well. As far as I know, they still have the fans and are still running. Now, the church had 4 at one point. There were only 3 as far as I can remember, but you can clearly see a box for a 4th. I think they've had to remove it because when they installed the sound system, one of the fans was distorting the audio for the speakers, so they had to remove the fan. Not sure why they did it that way, but who knows these things. Not sure whatever happened to that 4th one. Who knows, maybe they still have it. If I ever go back there, I'll inquire about them. Yeah, shocker, spin down's going to be long. Anything with steel blades is going to have a long spin down. Now, I have had experience with the first gen model. When I visited Weedfire, we hung his up and tested his. And it's been a while, but I don't remember there being any significant performance differences between the first and second gen models. It's been about, 4 or 5 years since then. So if I ever get my hands on a first gen model, I think it'll be cool to do a comparison of the two. I should have the room for them here. Yeah, the spin down on this thing is over 4 minutes. So I'm definitely sitting for a while. I say I've only seen these once in person. I do remember, I haven't seen it in person, but I remember seeing pictures of a warehouse that had one of these 40-inch ones in it with I think it was like a little 3-blade K63 blender fan. Those aren't for sale, sadly, but I wish they were. They sell a bunch of other antiques, so I wouldn't be surprised if they ever got rid of those fans, they'd sell them. Alright, so when I say rolled edges, for those who don't know, this is what I mean. You guys see they've curved them here, so if you got your head stuck in the fan or stuck any, I don't know, your arm or hand into it, rather than have the risk of your hand being lacerated, it would only give you a nice bruise. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this. I don't like to do this with this particular fan, but we'll try to do a 0 to high here. These pull cords are actually cords. They're famous for fraying on the little nipple on the cap there and just completely ripping off. And these have a rather silly design where once that's snapped, you really can't replace it unless you really know what you're doing with these things. But once again, it just kind of leans into the fact that this was supposed to be a more budget-friendly industrial. Not the most powerful industrial, but definitely a noteworthy industrial. I'd say you definitely got more than what you would have paid for. But anyways, there you have it. The 56-inch Dayton Lasko ceiling fan. Thank you all for watching and have a great day.